people aren't authentic. Why? Because they're being threatened when they're authentic. So we say freedom of speech, but then people can't speak about some topics, and so you stay with people who you don't know. Someone might be a racist, but then you'll never see it, but then they are until they surprise you. Yeah. So someone might be woke might be woke, but you never know that they are woke until you actually woke. So we want to create a space where people are free to be themselves, to reduce this kind of oddities where if a long-term friend will be surprised at what comes out of you, That's the kind of free space we're advocating for, that people can be able to speak and be themselves.
And then we had another comment I wanted to respond to too, and I think this was actually a pretty insightful comment. You spoke about freedom as a topic for the future. I find that freedom is only free when it has boundaries. Freedom isn't living without rules in doing whatever I want, but freedom is best when there are reasonable rules to follow. For example, the rules for traffic benefit all of us and allow us to use our vehicles safely within a set of rules. The concept of freedom within boundaries applies to all areas of life, such as speech, parenting, marriage, education, healthcare, labor, etc. On an ideal level, I don't disagree with this person. I do believe in freedom within boundaries. For example, with traffic, you have to have rules. You go around in Uganda here, you go into Kampala where the traffic is just kind of crazy and insane. You've got to have some rules that govern the insane amount of traffic that comes into traffic circles and it's on the streets there. So you've got to have rules that benefit all. And the traffic laws are not going to be written to bias a person with a political view or religious view. But the reason that boundaries for speech don't work in the same way is because oftentimes it's the people in power who get to determine the rules for speech. How would it be if suddenly now, like there's the whole counter-woke revolution that's taking place in America right now? What if that gains traction 10, 20 years from now, suddenly they're in power and now they're doing to you what you did to them, and the cycle continues. So you feel like you've been oppressed in the past, so now you're oppressing the people that you thought oppressed you, even though some of the people you're oppressing are innocent and didn't oppress you. And so now what that's doing is creating a backlash of people who are feeling oppressed and silenced. Now they're rising up with a counter-woke revolution. And when they gain power, they're going to oppress you. When does the cycle stop?
That's what we're trying to do. The cycle should stop now. If we have the freedom to speak like right now, and we're not banned, we're not cautioned, we're not, we don't face negative ramifications for being ourselves, then maybe we are creating that world, that the ideal world where people can actually be one. Because I believe whatever wing I subscribe to, I'm okay. I have the freedom to subscribe wherever I subscribe, and that's okay. Yeah, we're essentially the original woke right now, and whatever is going on is pernicious to woke culture. I'll use the Ugandan perspective. So like I said earlier, we've had, my country has tribes. I don't know about some countries out there, it's just one unit, but we have tribes here. Over 60 something tribes, and oftentimes when a president comes from one particular tribe, other tribes feel like they are oppressing them. And well, whether that may be the case or not is another thing, but usually the opposition uses the tribal lines to campaign, and that's not right, because not everyone from that tribe is responsible for whatever the person in power is doing. It's their problem. If Paul is in power and Paul comes from a particular group of people and is oppressing you, that's Paul's problem. That is not the problem of an entire race where Paul comes from. So attack Paul, and you're right to attack Paul. Demonize Paul, because yes, he has done something bad, and you're being objective. But then it's not right for you to attack the whole race where Paul comes. It's not right. So that I believe, yes, wokeness is right, and it's good to stand up for injustice, but then you want to stand up for injustice to the right people. If someone from my family kills another, you can't arrest my whole family. You will have to get that person and then take them to the jury and etc. You don't sue the whole family and arrest everyone. Where does personal responsibility come in? So yes, some of these things have happened, and let's hold accountable the people who we should be holding accountable. Let's not punish other people just because they're from the same race or they're from the same culture or the same skin color. It's unfair.
So, all right. So we'll see you next week. Probably in another week again with another video.
Yeah. Mwebale nnyo.
So say that again.
Mwebale nnyo.
And that means?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.